Jimmy Barnes, I love Jimmy Barnes. He was my kind of singer. He had my was my kind of attitude. Um, we played a lot of really cool old soul stuff that we didn't record or that didn't get on the record. And at the end of the day, the record company took maybe four or five of the things we cut, and they made him put it out on a record with. They made him go into another studio and cut a bunch of old. I think the only thing we had that he wanted that they were willing to keep, we cut it. We did a cut of Mustang Sally that was pretty smoking. I know everybody hated Mustang Sally at that point, but this was a pretty smoking track. But the record company decided you've cut too many obscure old R&B songs, old Dan Penn songs, and Spooner Oldham songs, and they made him cut a bunch of the chestnuts that everybody would know, and that was the way the record came out. But man, I loved Jimmy Barnes. I loved his singing. Um,
He's not the most obvious soul voice, Steve, but when he nails it, he
oh,
nails it.
yeah, no, he's got it. I mean, it's a unique soul voice because he's got that that really raspy, raw rock voice, but he loves soul music. I mean, that's what he would rather sing. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's certainly his passion, and I'll tell you something as well, Steve. And I have mentioned this to you on the keyboard forum that we're both part of, but it's something that's really worth mentioning for our listeners and viewers as well. So, Jimmy's admiration of Steve is also very high. I've heard Jimmy Barnes interviewed. I was driving along in my car, and I heard Jimmy interviewed about those sessions, and he actually mentioned you by name, Steve, and he said, "Oh, I worked with all these great guys in America, and it was such fun, and they were amazing." And Steve Nathan, and he rattled off a couple of other names as well. So,
and he's a walking encyclopedia of obscure, great soul songs and soul records. He knows all that stuff.